All right, here we go. This is it. On the inbound, wide open look for the win. Today on NBA 2K26, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go into my NBA and replace all 30 teams with just the team's best player. So as we look at these rosters, for instance, the 76ers will only be Joel Embiid. The Bucks will only be Giannis Antetokounmpo, and so on and so forth. I did this for every team in the NBA. Every team should be better as a result of this, well, other than maybe the Brooklyn Nets, who now have this goofball running the show. It'll be interesting to see how these teams end up performing, especially with my updated settings and sliders. I have a video for that. I'll leave it at the top right of the screen in case you are interested. I'm fascinated to see how some of these individual matchups are going to look, because you would think some of these teams with the higher rated players are going to do good. Jokic and the Nuggets would probably be one of the favorites. But I think what makes a guy like Jokic so special is what he does for the guys around him. So I'm not sure if a team of 5 Jokic's, for instance, is going to be better than a team of 5 Wembys, given that he's 5 inches taller and is pretty athletic. A team like the Warriors, I think, is going to struggle. As good as Steph Curry is, their tallest player is 6'2". Personally, my pick to win the whole thing is going to be the Bucks. I don't see how anyone is going to stop a team of only Giannis, given that he's 6'11", 250 pounds. He's going to be the most athletic player on the floor. He can drive downhill. He's an elite defender. Yeah, the shooting's going to be pretty bad, but how much does that really matter when you have 5 Giannises running the offense? So I think the Bucks are going to be the best team, but we'll see what happens here during the simulation. So we're going to try to get through the regular season fairly quickly. I do want to see how the team of Giannis's does in this first game against the Wizards, because they're probably going to be one of the lesser teams with Alex Sarr. The Wizards kept it within 11. Okay, that was closer than I thought. The team of Giannis's went 4 for 5 from deep. 80%, not too bad. Let's simulate up to the All-Star break, see where these teams are at. And the first thing I notice is that the team of Giannis's is, as expected, 49-5. They started the year like 20-1 and then kind of slowed down. Clearly the best team in the East. I think the biggest surprise you could argue would be Miami in third. When I was going through all the teams, I thought Bam Adebayo could be a big sleeper with his playmaking, defense, ball handling. And what I'm noticing is that the team of big men usually do really well, and the teams with guards are not doing well. The Knicks in 9th. The Hawks are in 14th. Their defense, as one would expect with Trae Young, is atrocious. In the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets are 54-2. Yeah, I should not have doubted that Jokic team. They are unstoppable. Not only do they have the best offense in the league, which is to be expected, but they have the best defense as well. The Spurs with Wemby are in 2nd, and then otherwise it's all the bigs and forwards pretty much. The team of Steph Curry's is only in 12th. The team of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's is only in 10th. That's one of the bigger surprises, I would say, given that he's, at minimum, a top 3 player in the NBA. But clearly, size matters. The top teams are largely bigger guys, and the lesser teams are smaller guys, which I guess kind of makes sense when you think about it, because the big teams are going to score inside with no problem. Jokic is in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for the MVP. There's no Rising Stars game because there's no 1st or 2nd year players in the league. We do have an All-Star game, though, with a lot of Giannis's and a lot of Jokic's. Half the roster in the East is Giannis, and then half the roster in the West is Jokic. So basically, it's the Bucks and the Nuggets playing against each other in the All-Star game. We have 2 Paolo Bancheros in the dunk contest. We have 2 Tyrese Halliburtons in the three-point contest. Let's simulate to the end of the season. Our MVP winner is, as you would probably expect, Nikola Jokic, averaging 16, 6, and 6 on very good shooting. It looks like this would have formerly been Christian Braun based on these numbers. A Christian Braun MVP, I could get used to that. We did not have a Rookie of the Year because, well, there are no rookies in our league. Jokic wins the 6th Man of the Year as well. This is a different iteration of Jokic. The Defensive Player of the Year is Wembanyama. The Most Improved Player is Cade Cunningham, even though technically he didn't improve, although that version of him did. I think that was Isaiah Stewart's old numbers. Devin Booker wins the Clutch Player of the Year, and then the Nuggets go 77-5. 2 Jokic's and 2 Luka Doncic's on the All-NBA first team. The All-Defensive teams is where it gets really funny. We have 4 Wembys on the first team, and then 2 more on the second team. 9 of the 10 defensive spots are taken by Wemby or Giannis. So here's a look at our playoff picture. We'll start with the Eastern Conference. The Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis ended up going 74-8. They look like the clear front runner in this conference. The 76ers in second. I wasn't sure how the Joel Embiid team would do. I figured they'd do a good job scoring and defending inside, but would they be able to keep up with the guards? And, well, clearly the answer to that is yes, given how important size clearly is. Even in the case of the Nets, they got a play-in spot with Michael Porter Jr. finishing ahead of the Pistons and the Knicks, even though their players are way better. The Nuggets win 77 games. The Spurs win 72. The West seemed to be very top-heavy. The first 8 teams all won at least 52 games. That's a lot. The 54-win 7th seed has to play in a play-in game. As for the numbers, across the league, stats are down since it's more evenly distributed in terms of the shots. I'm really curious about the team stats here. So, in terms of point differential, the Nuggets, as you would expect, are the best. They had the number 2 defense. The Spurs passed them late, but that's really surprising. I don't know if it has to do with tempo or what. The Pelicans were the most efficient. The Hornets were the least efficient. Some teams do not shoot threes at all. The Bucks are shooting like 6 per game. And then look at the rebounding. The Hawks, the other teams with guards, are really bad. And then the Nuggets, the teams with bigs, are good. A lot of bench points across the league, again, given that the shots are very evenly distributed. And then in terms of defense, guys like Giannis at the top, you would expect. Damian Lillard with the Blazers was at the bottom. So I think what we're going to do for the playoffs is we're going to go round by round, simcasting the most exciting games. Say we have a Game 7, for instance. In the play-in, the Thunder and the Rockets don't make it in. 2 teams who you would have expected to make it with Shea and Kevin Durant. And then the East, the Pistons beat the Knicks. That's all I'm concerned about. I will be gladly pushing agendas seeing that win. So I was hoping we would get some exciting games in the first round, but every series ended within 5 games. All of the better-seeded teams won. So there was not really a whole lot to talk about in the first round. The second round was kind of similar. We had 3 sweeps and 1 gentleman's sweep. The top 2 seeds in both conferences moving on with no exciting playoff series up to this point. We should be getting the good stuff, though, now in the conference finals. I was expecting the Nuggets and Spurs to be fairly close. That ended up not being the case. The Nuggets would sweep them. Bucks and Sixers, though, are close. Finally, a series going to 6 games. It took us to the conference finals. But it looks like Milwaukee's going to get the job done in 6, which means we will get the Nuggets and the Bucks in the finals. Jokic versus Giannis. This will be a really interesting matchup. I think the Giannis team would win if they had this in real life, but the Jokic team has the playmaking. They had the shooting. We're going to simcast every game since we haven't gotten to hop in yet, but I think we're finally going to be able to here in Game 1 of the finals. We're tied at 112. Look at these teams. 5 Giannises and 5 Jokic's. This is going to be a fascinating experiment as Giannis throws it up and in to put Team Giannis, I guess, ahead. Am I supposed to call them the Fighting Giannises, or should I call them the Bucks? Here is Jokic, inside for Jokic. Hook shot is good for Team Jokic. That might get kind of repetitive, but whatever. Tied at 114 now. Giannis on the drive. Giannis, the layup! And now the Bucks take the lead. Both offenses making some plays here down the stretch. We'll see how the Jokic's respond. Jokic inside. Jokic, the finish. And we're now tied at 116. Under a minute. Giannis passes it out. He had the easy 2 towards the basket. Now he's shooting 3s. Why? Giannis is like the worst 3-point shooter in this league. Jokic on the drive with the slam. Giannis is faster than Jokic. There's no excuse to let Jokic blow right by him. 30 seconds left, ball on the ground, still down, and Giannis gets it back. In the corner for Giannis. Jumper, that one bounces out. Jokic with the rebound, and Team Giannis is not going to foul. Interesting strategy, especially considering they don't have any timeouts. So they're banking on, for one thing, the Nuggets missing here, but also moving down the floor and getting a shot off within like 5 seconds. Jokic inside for Jokic with 4 on the shot clock. Jokic, jumper, bounces in! And Team Jokic leads by 4 here in Game 1. Giannis is going to have to throw it up. It won't matter even if he makes it, as Team Jokic wins Game 1 of the finals, 120-116. These playoffs have been largely very boring, but that's because these 2 teams are pretty clearly the best in the league. The Nuggets still have not lost in the playoffs, by the way. So I think because of the fact that these two teams have basically gone through a cakewalk to make the finals, we're going to get some really exciting games. Game 1 was a fun one. Game 2, not as close. The Nuggets win by 25. Giannis shot 2 for 10, and the team of Giannises shot 19 of 42 at the line. Yikes. Team Giannis has to win here back at home in Game 3. Team Giannis did look a little sloppy in that Eastern Conference Finals against Team Joel. Oh, they came back and won. Out of nowhere, they outscored Team Jokic by 20 in the fourth. They didn't even make a three-pointer all game. I was simcasting super quick. I didn't even recognize they came back until it was too late. On to Game 4 now. Team Giannis carrying over the momentum, playing really well. Team Jokic tries to make a comeback, but it's not going to happen. Giannis leads the Bucks with 24, but gets hurt. Luckily, there's 14 other Giannises who can take his place. So now we get to a pivotal Game 5. Series tied at 2. Team Giannis has the momentum back, but it's the team of Jokic's who would get the win. 137 to 118. So far, the home team is 5-0 in this series. Jokic leads the charge for Team Jokic with 19. I'm surprised we didn't have any triple-doubles yet. Even with the deflated stats, I thought maybe we would have 1 or 2 in these finals as of now, but has not happened yet. All right, on to Game 6. Team Jokic can win the whole thing. I'm hoping for a close game so we can hop into another one. Looks like Team Giannis has this one in the bag. Game 1 was super close. Ever since then, we've largely had blowouts. Giannis with 25, Giannis with 23, and then Giannis had 21 to lead Team Giannis into Game 7. The home team now 6-0 in this series. All right, here we go for all the marbles. This is it. Who wins the finals between Team Giannis and Team Jokic? And it looks like we've got ourselves a back-and-forth barn burner. 4 minutes left. We're going to hop in. I know it seems a little bit early, but we've only gotten to hop into one game today, so that's why we're going to hop in now. Not a lot of offense since we came into the game. Jokic, the floater, bounces in! And Team Jokic takes the lead. Couple of guys who have already won NBA titles in the past. Why is Giannis shooting threes? Like, just try to find some space and drive to the basket. Jokic in with the slam. It's a 4-point lead for the team of Jokic's. Giannis has got to respond here. His offense has gone cold. Giannis, open jumper, bounces in. He should have just gone right to the basket, though. He could have had an open layup or dunk. Nonetheless, he made the shot, so it's hard to complain too much. Jokic, no, Jokic the rebound. Jokic the putback. Pulling a rabbit out of his hat, like he seemingly always does. And it's a 4-point game. Giannis inside, fadeaway. Won't go. Jokic with the rebound, and Team Jokic has a chance to really put themselves in a good spot with a minute left. Jokic on the drive, pump fake, turn around. That one bounces out. Giannis with the rebound. Team Giannis has to score here with under a minute left. Giannis swings it up for Giannis. On the left wing, looks to drive in. Why are they passing it out to the perimeter? That Giannis had an easy shot towards the lane. Giannis, mid-ranger, won't go again. They have to stop shooting jump shots. Their offensive execution down the stretch has been atrocious, but Giannis steals it. Gets it to Giannis all the way. Lobs it for Giannis! And the lead is within 2. 125-123. Team Giannis, again, is not going to foul. They do have a timeout this time, so they can be a little bit more strategic, I feel like, depending on what Jokic does here. But they clearly trust their defense to get a stop, which, given that 3 of the Giannises made all defensive teams, I kind of get it. Inside, they'll go to Jokic. Turn around. No! Giannis gets the rebound. They have a timeout and won't use it. With just seconds left. Giannis for the tie! 125-125. That's what they've needed to do all game. Just go to the basket. The team of Jokic's have 5 flat-footed defenders who are not going to catch up to Giannis moving in like a freight train, especially in transition. So now Team Jokic has a chance to win. They do have a second and a half. Unlike Giannis, I trust Jokic a little bit more with a game-winning opportunity, given that Nikola Jokic is a good shooter, particularly from deep. All right, here we go. This is it. On the inbound, wide open look for the win. No good. It bounces out. And we're headed to overtime. That was such a good look for Jokic. He was open, but it takes an unlucky bounce. I think we're going to simcast the first part of overtime. Hopefully the game stays close and we can hop back in. And with about 2.5 minutes left, we're still tied. This is where we're going in. 131 in overtime of Game 7 of the finals. Long three won't go for Jokic. Giannis with the rebound. Here comes the team of Giannises. Giannis for the lead. And they are now ahead 133-131. Following Jokic possession. Jokic gets it behind the three-point line. Contested three. In and out. Giannis with the rebound. For much of the fourth quarter, Team Jokic was in control. Now it's Team Giannis, who is up by 4 following the made jumper. And now the pressure goes to the team of Jokic's. Well, that's a good start. Giannis tries to go for the ball rather than just play his man. He should not have been so aggressive. Following possession. Jokic can tie it. And he does! 135-135. Great shot by Jokic. Giannis lobs it up for Giannis. 2-point lead for Team Giannis as the Jokic's call time. We'll see if Nikola Jokic can respond again. He swatted away. Has to throw it up. Won't go. Giannis the rebound, and the Jokic's will foul. Probably an easier decision for them, given that Giannis, in comparison to Jokic, is not a good three-throw shooter. The team of Giannis has finished dead last in the NBA in three-throw percentage, the only team below 60% this season. Biggest three throws of the year. First one rattles home, and it's a 3-point lead. Second one makes it a 2-score game. It is good. Even though Team Giannis has not shot three throws well at all this year, he bangs a couple of big ones. Team Jokic uses their final timeout, down by 4. Following the inbound, they've got to get a shot off somewhat quick. Jokic with it, beyond the three-point line. Jokic looks to drive in the corner. Jokic for 3. It's good! With under 12 seconds to go, now Giannis will go back to the line, up by 1. He just made a couple of big three throws earlier. He's got to do it again. Nuggets are out of timeouts, by the way, as the first one is no good. So even if this is a make or a miss, the Nuggets are going to play it as it goes, whether it's off the rim or off an inbound. Second one is no good. Here we go. This is it. 1-point game. Jokic gets it to Jokic with 5 seconds. Inside for Jokic for the win. He got it! Nikola Jokic with 9/10 of a second has come back to take the lead. So now Team Giannis has to draw up their best inbound play. Ideally, you get one of the Giannises as close to the basket as possible. I think the best plan is to have one of the Giannises run towards the rim and try to go for a lob or an alley-oop. If the Giannis touches the ball before one of the Jokic's, they can tip it in time to potentially win the game. Giannis will inbound it to Giannis. Why are they pulling from 35? Shot's no good, and Team Jokic wins the finals. First of all, what a horrible final play. Why would you want Giannis shooting the ball from 35 feet with less than a second left to win the game? What's the thought process there? Even though these teams are all one player, we have all Jokic's for the Nuggets and all Giannis's for the Bucks, we have to remember that the coaching staffs have stayed exactly the same. It makes a lot of sense when you realize Doc Rivers is the one who drew up the final play, if you can even call it that, for the Bucks. There's Jokic holding up the Larry O'Brien trophy. What I want to hear from you guys is who you believe will win the finals MVP. My prediction, this is a tough one. I would probably lean Nikola Jokic, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. All right, here's the Bill Russell Finals MVP trophy. Is he going to give it to Jokic? Why is he still holding the trophy? This NBA employee will not give up the trophy. Okay, seriously, why is he still holding it? Brother, you are not on the team. Jokic doesn't seem to mind, though, which I guess is pretty accurate. He'd probably rather be in Serbia watching his horse race. Jokic with 25, Jokic with 23, Jokic had 20. Jokic also had the game winner. Giannis did what he could, 24, 10, and 6, but the other Giannises didn't shoot it well enough. Just 2 for 9 from deep. This game had 99 total free throws. Unethical hoops. Where is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander when you need him? So ultimately, our finals MVP ends up being Nikola Jokic. Wow, who would have thought? So that's going to wrap up the video. Fun little experiment. I'm curious to hear some thoughts of what you guys thought of this one down below in the comments. And if you have other experiments you would like to see here on NBA 2K, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hype the video, do all that fun stuff. Peace out.